No,
I'm in a private chat.
we are in. We are in. We are in. Let's just check and make sure. Let's see if we're in.
Live.
We are
No
in.
intro.
We are live. We are here. Chris Forstner has already said yawn because we weren't on 30 seconds in time. I'm so sorry, Chris. I love you, man. And
Chris is a menace.
Chris, thank you so much for your ongoing efforts to spell check me. Oh, Amity, what's up, girl? How you doing, baby?
Hey, man. Hey, don't forget to show those comments, bro. I can't do it.
Oh, let's see. Chris said yawn because we weren't on time, like 30 seconds. So sorry, brother. We will get there. Amity says, hi, sup? Hey, girl. Hey, how you doing tonight? This is amazing. We already got the chat going. Let's go. We are going to do this. Welcome to the Buds and Reality Show, the #1 Liberty podcast in Detroit. I'm Sean Collins, the guy with a lot to say. I'm here with Noel Olinde, my co-host at this point. We've been on each other's. This is 3 times in like a 7-day period. You were on my show, I was on your show, and now you're on my show. Oh, wait. Oh, boy, Chris.
Love it.
Chris. Okay, I deleted the tweet I was working on. Of course. I love you, man.
Now, yeah, no, man. Look, I wouldn't be on your show so many times, and I wouldn't have you on my show so many times if I didn't love you and trust you. We are a duo, and we're working on a trio, and we're going to just, at this point, make it one big tent, and that tent is going to be a firebrand of liberty and freedom. No matter what we have to do or say, it's going to happen. Feminist misogynist, what's up? Amity, great to see you. Chris, you're gay.
Goodness, we are in the house. We got ladies in the house tonight. We had ladies in the house last week. We got ladies in the house this week. Let's go. We are going to try our hardest to not get kicked off of YouTube this week. We're not going to talk about them. We are not going to talk about Pokey Poke. And
the Jews.
Do not talk about the JOOS. Don't do it. You get in big.
You just got to be safe. Just make jokes. Get out of my studio. Freaking dogs.
Oh, man,
what are you doing?
I should have had David Bowie in here. Oh, man, the feminist misogynist is laughing at us right now, as you should be. This is, you know what? We should all be laughing right now. This is a crazy world we live in, and we just want to make a little bit of fun and give some information as we do it. But, I had this, we talked earlier, I kind of had a different show planned out for us. I really did. And then I realized what today's date was. Oh boy, Chris, Buzz isn't going to tell us about the dangers of juice tonight. You guys got to stop in the comments.
I'll go ahead and confess now. What? Oh, never mind. Okay, I got it.
Oh, 0 YouTube notifications. Julie Curtis was our listener last week, and she said it was her first time. Welcome back. But holy smokes, there's no YouTube notification. Go figure. Surprise.
Chris, yes, of course. At some point, the Israel derangement syndrome will kick in for Sean. You can bet that it is going to be some dangers of the juice tonight.
We are going to try not to do that the best we can, though. We are going to try not to do that the best we can.
Yeah, and just be careful. You'll be fine. Don't get this one kicked off YouTube.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. They have the biggest thing ever when it comes to reach and whatnot. I did figure out, though, actually, I don't want to say I need to walk that back, reel it in. Mrs. Buds figured out how to go live on Rumble from StreamYard. So we're working on that right now. There's a little bit of a different way you got to do it because you got to schedule your Rumble before you schedule your StreamYard, which I didn't do tonight. They yelled at me because I didn't really know if I was going to have guests and all this stuff tonight. I didn't know. You came through in the clutch. Funny story. Oh boy, hang on. Do I need to be a Jew to listen? I'm German. No, you do not. You are, you know what? I'm kind of German too, in a little bit of a way. Like, yeah, as a Caucasian person, we are Heinz 57. It's just what it is. You know, most of our ancestors were border jumpers. I know most people hate illegals, but hey, you know, I'm Irish, Italian, German, and I definitely,
Yeah, it's funny because I have not come across this camouflage up until this stream right now. This is incredible. That's a great camouflage. Yeah, we'll talk about the juice. I hope not.
mean, I'm sure it'll happen at some point, but like,
Well, you can't help yourself.
We're not trying to do that tonight. We're not trying to do that tonight. What we're trying to do is, you know, literally, I'm 100% German. Ha 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 ha.
Nice, Julie.
Very nice, very nice. But here's the story. I had the show planned out for us once I knew you were coming on, and we were going to talk about men's mental health. That's where I was at.
Let's talk about it all.
But you know, then I realized the date, and oh my God,
that's good. That's good. Yeah, yeah.
Wait, where is it? There. Imagine Zeal not talking about Lincoln. Okay.
Yeah, Joel also has IDS. I'll call him out too.
And I'm German, Scott, Brit, Nordic. We're Heinz 57. We're white people. All white people are Heinz 57. All of our ancestors were border jumpers. We got to be a little bit nicer to immigrants, I guess, or do we? I don't know.
Why?
I know that my ancestors weren't coming here trying to hurt people. They just wanted to work. And they had, you know, there were signs up with no Irish need apply. The Irish people were not allowed to come here. They didn't want the Dagos to come here either. I can say Dago. I'm Italian, by the way. And so, you know, they didn't want the Dagos here either because they brought organized crime. But hey, I mean, who's the biggest organized crime organization in the entire world? Well,
the government.
Yep. Exactly. And the feminist misogynist says, I will be nicer to no one. Thank you. And I would expect nothing less. Really, I would expect
only appropriate response.
She gets all the special people in her comments. Like, her tweets are great. Oh boy. My dad was an illegal alien from England, LOL, until his genius visa came through.
Was it the genius visa or was it because he was white?
That's a good question. Doggos or Tonys? Or Dagos or Tonys? Ha! Dagos, baby. Dagos all day. Oh my God. We got Irish, Italian.
I'm a big fan of both. I don't know Timothy O'Connor. I hope he follows me.
Timmy. What is up?
Timmy.
How you doing?
Obviously, I'm a big fan of the feminist misogynist and
Amity
turned into a huge fan of Amity Dolby.
Yes. Oh, here we go. There she is. Welcome, the feminist misogynist, white privilege. Welcome to the show. I knew this was coming. This is great. I can't wait.
It is.
I can't wait for all this.
More comments.
And one more for now. I'm still waiting for my Genius MasterCard. What if it's a Visa?
I don't care what Chris has to say. He's gay.
Oh. Damn it.
To be fair, Chris was the leading person to get me financially to beat out Tasha Cohen.
Never.
Yeah,
never.
I promise you. Ask Chris. I promise you, he gave me more funds than anybody gave Tasha Cohen to get me to the Pennsylvania convention, Libertarian Party convention, to be a speaker there. This was a couple of years ago, but this guy is completely loyal, amazing human being. And so I'm going to trash him because that's what real friends do.
Oh, he might be calling you out for being gay. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. I can't help it that you're attracted to me.
I'm just not attracted to people that look like a thumb.
Wow, we have way too much fun on here.
That's my guy. Chris is my guy. If you're watching this stream right now, a lot of you are clearly. Go follow Chris. He's an amazing human being. I love him very much. I may have a secret crush on him because apparently I like thumbs.
It's out in the world now. We are live. We are coming in. We are 10 and a half minutes in. We have 43 or 41 people in so far. Sorry, I don't have my old man glasses on at the moment. And but my dude, we have something to talk about other than what I thought we were going to talk about in the first place.
Let's talk about all of it.
Because of the date. Today is November 22nd. And on November 22nd, 1963, the ultimate coup happened in the United States, where the United States government murdered a sitting United States president on live TV, on live everywhere. It was all over the place. Mr. John F. Kennedy, arguably one of the greatest presidents we ever had, actually. And the funny thing is, it's not really funny, though. Is he was a Democrat. Democrats used to be fighting for the working man. They used to, he's shaking his head. Oh boy. Nope. What's your deal with JFK? Come on.
If you were to have a JFK in today's establishment politics, he would be considered a far-right extremist.
Yes, but we'll get into that. But at the time, he was a Democrat, and he was beloved by pretty much the nation.
Well, because everybody loved Democrats at that point, because they were for the working class. They were for, they were anti-war. They were, anti-pharmaceutical company. They were anti-corporate establishment. They were anti-war.
Yes,
to say the most. No, JFK is not a Democrat by today's standards. Yes, he was a quote-unquote Democrat, but I just don't see how any relative argument relates to this man that was literally had his brain split open on live television because he was what we would consider the traditional, and this is the weird part, a Republican, a conservative in 2024. The parties of we live in an inverted world.
Yes.
Where Democrats are now pro-pharmaceutical, pro-enslavement, pro-anti-free speech, pro-anti-democratic processes. They hate everything. They hate everything that the likes of JFK and Martin Luther King Jr. had ever stood for. And that's just a fact. Also, a fact, Julie Curtis says, great show already, LOL.
Oh, well, wait. Oh, yes. Hello, Julie. How you doing? Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Love you long time. Rip JFK. Yes, rip JFK, because he was the old school. I don't even want to call him a Democrat. He was a classical liberal. Classical liberals used to mean something back in the day. Ludwig von Mises was a classical liberal who libertarians love and revere to this day. It's a different time in this world. Amity says, I would have been a JFK Democrat. I would too.
Easily.
No problem. 100%.
In a heartbeat. Boom.
Same.
I'm pressing that button immediately.
Yes, absolutely. I've said that a million times, actually. And Timothy O'Connor, also, he was young, good looking. The deep state hates that shit.
A feminist misogynist says, Jews and gays, y'all have everything.
They do. And unfortunately, we don't. But we're going to get there. Misogynists. We will have everything soon enough, because liberty will win at some point.
Amen.
But no, so anyways, you know, we are here, November 22nd, 2024. JFK was brutally murdered in the streets of Dallas, Texas on live television 61 years ago. But why? Why was he murdered? And we're gonna take you there a little bit. One of the reasons he was murdered was actually, and Ron Paul stated this in an interview with Tucker Carlson. His fate was sealed at a commencement address in June of that year at American University, where he spoke of peace, anti-war. He did not want to get down with the Cuban Missile Crisis. He did not want to get down with Vietnam. And as a matter of fact, JFK was fixing to call out the CIA for many reasons. And one of the reasons was a man named Allen Dulles, okay? Allen Dulles was the former director of the CIA who got fired 1 year before JFK's murder over the Bay of Pigs situation. Now, let me pull up my phone real quick because I have to have this all on here. Allen Welsh Dulles. Wait, let me get past all the year of his, born and death stuff. Was an American lawyer who was the first civilian director of Central Intelligence and its longest serving director as a head of Central Intelligence Agency, aka the CIA. During the early Cold War, he oversaw the 1953 coup d'etat, the 1954 Guatemalan coup d'etat, the Lockheed U-2 aircraft program. Oh, and by the way, the Project MK Ultra mind control program, he was a part of that as well. And the Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961 as a result of the failed invasion of Cuba. Dulles was fired by Kennedy. Well, he was fired by Kennedy because of that. And what happened 1 year later? John F. Kennedy was murdered. But the funny thing is hear me out, guys. Who was the first person that Lyndon B. Johnson called? Who was JFK's vice president at the time? Who was the first one he called? Allen Dulles. And he was the investigator for the entire, they never called it a coup. They called it an assassination. But really, this was a coup brought to you by the United States government who literally murdered in broad daylight a sitting president. Not only was that the day the government died, that was the day the republic died. And a lot of us can go back to 1913, where, Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act into place and whatnot, and brought us the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve was the ultimate power grab, the ultimate enslavement of the people. That's exactly what it was. And then you fast forward to, oh my God, I can't even think of the name right now. Brain fart, 1930s president. Oh my God, brought you the New Deal. They stole gold from people. Why am I having this brain fart right now? Noel, chime in right now because I might need your help for crying out loud. But no, these presidents and these people from government have literally stripped your power. FDR, thank you, David. Yes. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Thank you. But no, these Chris Forstner is saying yes. Laugh at me all you want, brother. Yeah, brain fart, yes. But anyways, the weed got him. I actually didn't smoke any weed before the show, so that might be the problem. But he brought you the New Deal, which they confiscated gold from people and whatnot. There's certain historical events that led to where we are today. But this was the JFK murder. Oh, you have to pull me back in. Yes. Okay. There you are. Hey.
I was screaming at the microphone, FDR. I'm sitting there screaming at it. Yeah. So real quick, pause, production. When you want a monologue, pull me down. So because if I pull myself out, then you're gonna have to physically pull me back in. I can't come back in on my own.
I'm new to this, and I'm a tech-tard. Time out, smoke.
Which is why I'm telling you.
Which is amazing. Thank you. I want to learn this stuff. I got to get better at this.
Eat
But
an
no,
edible.
oh my God, I need more edibles. I have about 500 milligrams upstairs right now as we speak. I didn't get into them yet because I don't like. I actually don't like to get too high before my shows because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? It's not good.
Yeah, I don't get high before any of my shows.
But you know, this is where we're at right now, and we know that the CIA was the ones who pulled this off. They tried to play it off as Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald was the one, just kind of like the same way they tried to sell us the guy who looked like he should have been playing Dungeons and Dragons in his mother's basement was the one who tried to kill Trump. No, absolutely not. You're not going to sell that to me. You're not going to sell that to anybody else with a free mind. You know what I'm saying? But like, what does Noel sound like? Why does Noel sound like Matt Walsh?
That's funny.
That is.
It's because I have a raspy voice with a phenomenal beard.
Too funny. Your beard is all trimmed and nice. Mine is gray and not nice right now because
I have to make it trimmed and nice because otherwise I have to put on a respirator for work.
Oh, yes. Yes, you do.
Otherwise, I'd have a freaking Moses beard, and I would be able to speak to the burning bush, which is the infinite void of people that don't understand the liberty. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, look, real quick, production side note, and people will appreciate this, I promise you. If you go to our sections, when you go to talk, enlarge yourself and make me small. And then when I go to talk, you can make me large, and you can also drag via the mouse our screens across the table.
That is a foreign language to me. Me and Mrs. Buds need to play with this. She's a computer whiz.
No, you're fine. Look, drag my screen across. Just drag my screen across.
Where are we dragging it?
Grab my screen and just move it to the left to replace you. Watch. See?
Now, we just made different sides. I'm not bigger. Not on my end.
You need to go to the right side of your screen and show how you can formulate the projection of which screen is bigger or not. You got multiple options. It's easy, bro.
We're not doing this at the moment just because I'm not going to fall into this because I will probably somewhat delete the show.
You are somehow.
I will play with it this weekend. How about that? I will play with it this weekend. I promise. I'm not going to play with it, but I'll play with this. I know there's a lot of perverts out there in the world who are probably watching the show. So I'm not going to play. This is what DMs are for, nerds. This is what Chris says. Wow. Thank you, Chris.
Look how fast you learn how to show comments. Look how fast.
It was too easy.
So is this?
No, I drug you, and then I went there. And then here.
Boom.
And there.
Yep.
But I don't get bigger or you get smaller on my end or whatever.
Yeah, you just go to the format, and it'll show you little boxes in which you can make screens bigger and smaller.
Oh, man.
Super easy.
I'm a tech tard. Welcome to the Buds and Reality Show. I am a tech tard. We're not good at this. But like, here we are 61 years later, and we're still talking about this because it's so relevant. And, we have Mr. Donald Trump who says he is willing to release the Chris says, okay, boomer. Yeah, I have some boomer in me. I do. I'm sorry. The gray in my beard will tell you that, but I'm not a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer. Thank you very much.
You're not a boomer. You just can't. You don't have the ability to try to do it in real time. You're scared, and that's okay. I get it.
Let's see.
That's what happens when you're
asking
gay.
how many libertarians it takes to change a light bulb. Oh my God!
Okay, well, let me ask you this: how many cops does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'll just beat the crap out of the room for being black.
Holy shit! And Amity says, "Real libertarians." Do we even know what a real libertarian is anymore? Because I don't even think they know. Honestly, I'm not too sure they know exactly.
I think the only definitive representation of what a real libertarian is just to be autistically stupid.
Well, I mean, that would probably be or not relevant, but true for about 2/3 of the party, I would imagine. I'm not going to lie. We're going to say that out loud in the open. I've been calling the Libertarian Party out for a long time. How many Southerners does it take to explain technology to a pothead?
Apparently one or more.
All of them. All of them. I hate computers. I'm not a fan of technology. I still use filing cabinets, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. What's about to happen is Sean is about to figure out how to blame this on the pesky Jews. He's not going to be able to, but he's going to try.
I thought we weren't supposed to talk about that tonight. I'm going to get kicked off YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care. We can have some fun. I don't give a shit. But no, like, this is crazy though. This is the world we live in, where it's, you know, we have a society that is perfectly okay with not knowing. Julie, oh boy, no, AIPAC controls his PC. No, they don't. AIPAC doesn't control shit. And Julie, damn those juice. Yes, damn them. Damn them all.
We're going to find a way to blame it on the pesky Jews.
I mean, I can find a way to do it right now just by Trump's biggest donor, but do you want to go there or not? Do we want to go there?
Do we want to actually blame a certain subsect of society on a billionaire's ability to have money?
No, because that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying the relevancy of a certain particular group of people who has way too much pull in our government and monetary system is a problem. That's all.
And so at what point do you redirect your focus towards the largest influence on our federal government, which is the pharmaceutical companies, which I've already proved to you?
The pharmaceutical company outspent AIPAC by 3 times this last election cycle.
Astronomically outspent.
3 times. I'll give them that.
And I'll add that the AIPAC spent $300,000 or more to get Thomas Massey kicked out of Congress, and they lost by a substantial margin. I think we need to probably focus more on where the actual evil lies, because I don't think
China is there too. China is very much relevant. We'll get into that in a minute. But if you want to talk about the juice, please, ladies and gentlemen, Google Miriam Adelson. Google Miriam Adelson, who gave Trump $100 million during his campaign, and tell me who she is. Come back to this later.
I mean, $100 million to a billionaire. She's got like 10 more $100 million to go to match him, plus some.
I'm just saying. I digress. I don't want to get kicked off YouTube tonight. That's why I got kicked off my record label. This is.
You're not getting kicked off YouTube tonight. I got you.
But anyways, you know, look up Miriam Adelson and we'll go from there. But we go from John F. Kennedy to Donald Trump. Let's go there, because we know who killed Kennedy. We know it was the CIA. And as a matter of fact, Alan Dulles was the very first person that LBJ called to investigate the murder of John F. Kennedy. Alan Dulles, keep that in your mind, because Alan Dulles was the one that JFK fired a year before he got murdered over the Bay of Pigs, which is a very failed, the Bay of Pigs in a nutshell was a very failed attempt of taking over Cuba. That's why. This is what happened. And so all of a sudden, after that happens, JFK gets murdered. LBJ, who was his vice president, says, hey, we need to bring you back in to investigate this. Please tell me there's not red flags right there. This is all in a Google search, by the way. You can knock yourselves out and look it up. Alan Dulles was fired by John F. Kennedy 1 year before he was murdered by the CIA. And then the first person that Lyndon B. Johnson called to investigate said murder. They didn't call it a coup. They called it an assassination. But really, it was a coup because that was the ultimate death of the United States government at that point, where foreign entities were involved and three-letter acronyms were involved outside of our presidential situation, I guess we could call it. But Alan Dulles is the name that sticks out in my mind through all of this. You guys really want to get me in trouble, don't you? Yeah, but who controls Google? We know who controls Google. The same people
the globalists.
JFK attempted to kill Trump. Thank you. Except that as much as it makes sense, it doesn't because of some of his cabinet appointments. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want to get in trouble tonight.
It's a tough situation. Don't worry about getting in trouble. We
will never know. That's how deep this crap is. You are correct. We will never know. We will never know. Trump says he's going to release the files, and so did multiple presidents before him. They never got released. Trump says he's going to release the Epstein files. We're never going to see those. The Epstein files will never be seen, ever. Period.
No, I don't believe for 1 second that we're going to ever see the full encapsulation of what is or isn't the Epstein files. I don't think that's a realistic idea because too many people in high, powerful positions will be just destroyed. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Same as I don't think that the P. Diddy list is ever going to be fully released. But we all know exactly who is involved, and none of them voted for Trump. That's a reality. I'm not defending Trump. I'm just telling you what you already know, and that, let's be honest, y'all. Every person that was subscribed to Epstein's and P. Diddy's list, they're all Democrats. And we've seen it time and time again. For reference, you can go to Ellen DeGeneres' tweets, which she has been exposed for time and time again.
But let me ask you this. If that's the case, why does Donald J. Trump have the most pictures with Jeffrey Epstein out in the open?
Who said that?
They're all over the place. You can see all the pictures with Donnie and Jeff. They're everywhere.
I don't disagree. I'm asking when you say the most for Donald Trump, what evidence do you have of that? Because there's a lot of it with Clinton.
They're the only ones I see. We know Clinton was there. We know. We don't have the pictures of Clinton, though. There's no pictures of Clinton, whether they're being hidden by the political parties or not. Because I'm not a deep state guy. I'll get that out of the way right now. I don't believe there's a such thing as a deep state. The deep state is the state. The state is what it is, and that's that. There's good and bad people.
So do you differentiate between like corruption within the state of a certain, state? Like, let's say there's corruption within the state of Mississippi or the state of Michigan. Do you still relate that to the same state of the federal government?
As an anarchist, yes. Yes.
How?
Very much so. Because the state is the most evil entity that there ever was. They are
Sure.
out to take your health, wealth, and property. So how is it that one there's a separate society of a state that's more evil than what's already there? I have a hard time separating the two because at the end of the day, they're both out to take what they're going to take from us.
Sure. But one entity does far more damage than the other.
Yeah,
Yes
but
or no?
who's to tell at this point? Because a vast majority, I don't want to say a vast majority, but I need to be careful with my words here. There's a large chunk of the GOP who is bought and paid for by the CCP, who is also a part of whatever happened over there on this island. Like birds of a feather flock together. And we saw it, like, let's just put it this way, and I can't remember the guy's name right offhand, but it was something that really, really pissed me off about Rand Paul. And Rand Paul was golfing with his arch nemesis who happened to be a Democrat, right? And they made a funny post about it where he said, you know, we may differentiate on the floor, but we can have fun together or whatever. I'm not saying that Rand Paul was a part of that, but I'm saying that it's a uniparty. It's one thing.
Sure. But do you disregard the fact that you can have exponential and 100% wins on the state level against the, let's just say, the CCP, like what you're referencing? You don't think that's available?
It depends on who you ask. Really, that's a loaded question. It depends on who you ask and who's involved. Like I literally have friends who are GOP members who are very connected. You know this for a fact, that are very connected within the GOP. And they're also simultaneously trying to burn down the GOP because of the CCP-backed individuals who are a part of it. They're going after their own right now. Literally, they have receipts. They're burning it down within. A lot of people don't know this is happening right now. But there's a big rift within the Republican Party, the GOP, because of who is quote unquote deep state or CCP backed or whatnot here or there. They're going after them. When people a part of a political party are going after their own, that's a big deal. We need to see more of this, actually. We need to see it in the Democratic Party. We need to see it in the Libertarian Party or whatever other bullshit party there is out there. We need to see more attacks of people on their own if they feel that they're doing unjust things.
So you don't understand, you don't believe that there are subsequent adversaries that are on a more, subsequent level in politics that are bought and paid for by foreign entities? And I'm not talking about Israel.
No. I'm saying there's Israel and China are the biggest financiers of our government. Let's just be honest. And China's probably much bigger than Israel at this point. We also know that there's other lobbyists that come involved, whether it be big pharma, oil, big pharma, oil. There's the military industrial complex. There's defense contractors, stuff like that. They all have their hands in this stuff, right? We all know this. This is public information that you can just find anywhere on the internet.
Check comments.
Oh, let's see. The only thing we know about Clinton is he likes blowjobs in the bathroom. He likes cigars in females as well. Chris thinks I'm retarded. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. The deep state is the thousands upon thousands of people in the government who run the show, but never have to answer the electorate. Oh, you mean the unelected bureaucrats that come through? Yes, that's a thing. That's 100% a thing. And I would like to believe that the quote unquote Doge is going to deal with that. I'm not too sure how they're going to save us any money, but they're going to deal with that. I do believe that. Why is the CCP buying up land in the USA? Because the United States government allows it. That's why. And it's not even the United States government. It goes to the state governments who wherever wherever the land is where they're buying this property. I have a problem with that too. I have a big problem with that. I don't think, because honestly, 30% of the rental market is owned. The rental market, by the way, is owned by people who don't live in this country or governments outside of this country.
Should we allow that?
No, absolutely not. America.
What would your proposal be? What would your proposal be to eliminate that?
You have to be an American citizen in order to buy land here. Because it's and let me throw this in there, by the way. The HOAs, which many of us who are against, the homeowners associations, they're bullshit. But actually, the homeowners associations are kind of saving us from this, because the homeowners associations are saying, hey, you're not going to buy our houses in our neighborhoods and rent them out to whoever you're renting them out to. Just to be clear, why has China been buying U.S. property? Has been the question since the 80s. Well, we know why. Because they're planning their invasion. We know that they're planning their invasion through the border. It's already happening.
I don't believe that.
You don't think China's trying to invade the United States?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because that's what's happening. Why is China paying Central and South American countries to bring up their people to our borders? All these people are pissed off about Mexicans and quote unquote South Americans, Central and South Americans coming across the border, when a majority of these people coming across the border right now are Arabic and Chinese.
I believe the reason they do it is for financial gain. And
of course,
dominance over territorial dominance. They're given the opportunity to buy this land and procreate the land in which they seem to be most efficient for their personal gain. I mean, this just doesn't seem controversial to me. However, what do we do about that? Right? Like, we should not allow, in my opinion, we should not allow a foreign country that's a hostile country purchase and maintain land in our country while trying to secure borders. Like, what? How does that work? Because we don't have a system currently in place that says you cannot own and buy, or you cannot purchase and own land that will be your beneficiary. But we also allow for open borders.
So I'm one of those enigmas who is an anarchist who is not for open borders. Do I believe that peaceful people should be able to move freely? Yes, Noel. Did you start smoking at 10 a.m.?
I don't. No, I don't smoke.
I did. I did. I actually started smoking at 6 a.m. But why shouldn't be buying goods from a hostile country either? Look, I look at it like this. The United States, who quote unquote claims themselves to be a free and sovereign country, should have no dealings with communist organizations, period. Whether it be China, Russia, Middle East, whatever it may be. We should not have any dealings with communist regimes, period. Zero, zip, nada. Our government should not be mingling with them. We should not be having meetings with them. We should be staying the hell out of each other's way. That's where I'm at. That is where I
So
am.
how do we deal with the borders?
Private property. Bingo. There's my anarchist side of things. Private property. You want to deal with the borders? Sell it to some farmers or some people, even though the state cannot legitimately own land. The state cannot own anything because they don't produce anything. Let's be honest here. So, how can the state own land that they don't produce? Give that property to someone who's going to take care of it as they see fit. If they want to let border jumpers come through, well, that's a different conversation because that's their their prerogative to let them through. But most people are not going to just let somebody come trampling across their property.
So how do we deal with that with a system that doesn't even, not only does it not promote that, what you're saying, and I agree with, but it absolutely destroys that idea.
Free market capitalism is the answer to
No, I mean in a realistic
of our
manner.
problems. What was that?
In a realistic manner, because that's just not an option.
Free market.
I mean, it's the best option.
Free market capitalism
Obviously
is an option. The state won't allow it. So this is where localization would come in. This is where localization comes in, decentralization and nullification. If the Texas and Arizona and California people sold that land to whoever they were going to sell it to, and they can defend it as they see fit. Oh, and by the way, if you really want to fix the border problem, stop giving out free money. No more free money. No more checks. You want to stop this shit? Enough. Enough with the welfare shit with foreigners. You want to stop it? That's where it stops. As soon as the checks stop, you will see a different border situation. I promise you that. I promise you 100%. No more checks.
okay.
No
But
more.
that's not going to happen.
So you're telling me Mr. Donald J. Trump, who's going to defend the borders, right? He's going to defend the borders at all costs, is not going to eliminate welfare checks to foreigners coming across the border? Well, then his whole plan is gone. This whole border thing, he's going to deport people, is over.
He doesn't have that authority.
He does, though. He does.
How? Explain.
He can veto anything he wants. The president of the United States can veto any plan that he wants. Period. This is why I'm not on the huge Trump train like everybody else is because he had a time where he could have fixed the border when he had control of which right now, when he gets in office, he's going to have the Republic. He's going to have the Senate, the Congress, the presidency. He had that before too. He did nothing with the border.
That's not how our system is set up.
Then
what you're prescribing is that you have a dictator or king, right? That's what you're saying. It's like he just shut that crap down. And to a degree, yes. But in a multiplicity of avenues of success, no. He'll just get denied. Because you still have a bunch of people that will just neglect it and deny it via Congress. Because they make money off. Okay, so the Democrats don't want to solve the border issue because it helps them. The Republicans don't want to solve the border issue because it helps them campaign on things.
And the truth shall set you free. Right there. You just nailed it on the head. They don't want to fix anything. They don't.
No.
Just like they don't. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. Just like the Democrats want to fix abortion, they had over 50 years to codify Roe v. Wade, right? And they had the presidency, the House, and the Senate multiple times in those 50 years. Why didn't they do it? I'm going to tell you why. It's because it curries in votes and it raises an astronomical amount of money, just like the border. Same difference. It raises an astronomical amount of money, which is all government is a giant fundraising program. That's all politics is raising money to put in their pockets, which in turn fucks every single one of us every time. They're not fixing the border. They're not going to deal with abortion. They're not going to deal with the economy. They're not going to deal with anything, because if they did, we'd have no reason to quote unquote need them.
Check comments.
Let's see comments. Let's see. Ooh. Why in the world don't immigrants come through the ports of entry? Well, why would they? Why would they? They're going to get a free check regardless. Regardless, it doesn't matter. You end the welfare shit, this shit is over. I'm telling you right now, no more checks, no more immigration problems. I'm telling you. He can only veto things with less than 2/3 majority. I'm pretty sure Biden vetoed things without that. I'm just saying.
It didn't work, though.
And don't forget that Democrats were also border hawks until 2015. Ha!
I wonder why that is.
Gee, no reason, nothing at all. But the answer to immigration is cut the welfare, private property, and it's over. It is over. Like, don't get me wrong, people aren't going to not try to come here, but like without the free money, why would they come here? There's no reason to come here. They'd be fucked if they came here with no money. We have to end the world. You know, which is another problem. They don't want to fix. You know, government can't fix things. If they fix things, we wouldn't need them. It's simple. You know, it's just a simple mindset at that point. You know,
they create the problems to create the fear so that you will give them more power
and more money.
Power and money, you know, kind of the same thing. But yes, I digress. There's no way that this is going to change because of the system that we have. And I'm not trying to black pill everyone here. I'm just being honest that there's just no way, because the incentive structure for the people that are the quote unquote lawmakers is just undeniable. Like if you or I were there, we probably fall suit to the same thing. It's like, okay, well, I want to get this thing done, but I can't do it without agreeing to this garbage. And then that thing never gets done.
Which is why we need to start holding these people into account. Like my friends in the GOP right now.
How do we do that?
What was that?
How do we do that?
You just got to do it. You just got to do it. You got to start putting them on blast like my GOP friends are right now. Will Huff. Okay, I'm going to put his name out there. Will Huff, who happened to be Colonel Conrad Reynolds' campaign manager in 2022, who ran for Congress in Arkansas against French Hill and our good friend Michael White. Okay, French Hill always wins that spot. He's always going to win that spot until he decides he doesn't want it anymore. Okay. But these people, my friends, are going after their own people within the GOP who are uniparty type people, who are CCP backed people. And they're trying to burn down their own political party to bring back whatever the Republican Party once was. I don't want to, I'm a former neoconservative. I am literally former neoconservative. That is my background. I am a never Democrat in my whole life. I've never done Democrat things. I'm a Southern Baptist boy. Okay. But like, dude, you have to hold these people into account and put them on blast, whether it be social media or whether it be like social media is very relevant at this point. You have your X and your Facebook and your Instagrams and your Telegrams and your Telegraphs and God knows what else. I'm a Gen Xer. I don't know all the things, but like seriously, You hold these people in account, you put them on blast for what they're doing. People start opening their eyes and saying, wait a minute, this isn't what we believe in within our political structure. And then people start to say, hey, this person's bad, this person's bad, this person's bad. We need to get them out of there. And you just start going like, this isn't an overnight sensation, but it's got to start somewhere. And what they're doing within the GOP right now, they are doing amazing things. They are calling out people. They are getting recalls done in states like Wisconsin. It's happening. This is where you got to go. This is how you do it. Libertarians need to be doing this shit because 2/3 of the party is retarded. The Democrats are starting to figure this stuff out. Obviously, look at the election. They got steamrolled. The Democrats got steamrolled this election because their voter base was pissed off at what they were doing, and they did it to themselves. This is what we need to be doing.
In the comment section, it says, Julie Curtis says, just say no, Noel. And Chris Forstner says, the dude has like 10 kids. He doesn't know how to say no.
Amen to that. We all Noel's gonna have himself his own baseball team soon enough.
In Jesus' name, I hope so.
And Chris,
I only have 4 kids. What are you talking about?
I mean, you're halfway, well, almost halfway to. There's 9 to a baseball team. Well, not a whole team, but 9 to a field. So you're working on it, brother. You're working on it.
I'm sorry. I decided to multiply the planet with liberty-based human beings. My bad.
No, that's amazing. And that's how you win. Like, produce babies, like between you and Josh Smith. Josh Smith has Noel beat by a long shot. A long shot. Josh Smith, he's having babies. He's adopting babies. He's got grandbabies. He's got all the babies running around there. Josh Smith is winning 100%. I wish he had a better showing in our presidential race. His message was absolutely amazing. One of my favorites. His fundraising was not the best, and that's why it didn't work out. Love you, Josh. It's just what it was, But that's my 2 cents in when it comes to like the border issue and stuff like that. And how the hell did we even get there from there? That wasn't even part of the docket tonight. But you're talking to the ADHD king right now, so that's that. But let's tie in JFK with Donald Trump right now, because that was part of the conversation that we had, quote unquote, planned out. Now, Donald Trump was very anti-war. And as a matter of fact, I've said this a million times on my show. I said on your show this week, there was a certain point where Donald Trump turned from just an opponent to the Democrat Party to a legitimate enemy, and they came after him hardcore. And that's when he spoke the truth on a debate stage on live television about the Iraqi war. That completely changed for him. It was, because he told the truth about how, the weapons of mass destruction was never real, and they knew they didn't have them for 10 years. And as a matter of fact, that they went to war with Iraq over money. Iraq wanted to sell their own oil in the Iraqi dinar rather than the US dollar. And the USA was like, yeah, no, you're going to stick with the petrodollar, or we're going to give you a healthy dose of democracy until you conform, which is exactly what happened. And then that's where Donald Trump turned from, just an opponent to the enemy, and we are going to take him down at all costs. Even Tucker Carlson pointed this out at one point.
Well, how much do you believe that Donald Trump is an enemy of the state versus maybe, and I'm going to reference his own book here, an art of the deal type situation where he says, okay, look, let's make a deal here. I'm willing to negotiate on a few promises. I'm willing to appoint a few people that are deep state employees, so long as you let me into the presidency. As opposed to like he's just full on anti-establishment. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that he ran as a full on enemy of the state and just won.
You cannot speak against the war machine. You cannot do it. Look at JFK. This is the similarities between JFK and Donald Trump. They tried to kill Donald Trump this year. They literally
did.
They did. And so the fact of the matter is that he went after the war machine, and who controls the war machine? The central banksters, okay?
Yes.
So you're going to go against the puppet master. The central banksters are the puppet masters of all things that we see in our world today. They control the monetary system, the inflation, they control the interest rates, they control the wars, they fund both sides of the wars. Okay? Now, he went against the grain against all of them. Oh, yeah, here we go. I can't believe we can continue to support this crap. I can't believe it either. I really can't. Oh, and it's
one about that.
Here. What was that?
Go to the scientific libertarian.
Is that microphone still working, Noel? I hear him. I hear him good.
That's not what he means.
But the fact of the matter, my entire life, over half a century, yes. So check this out. You're telling me that you're going to speak out against everything the central banksters work for, which, by the way, Donald Trump was the central banksters' wet dream in his first term. The guy put us in $7.8 trillion in debt. The Fed just printed all this money for him. And a lot of people say, hey, it's COVID, it's COVID, it's COVID. Yeah, Donald Trump didn't have to do any of that if he didn't want to. He didn't have to shut down the economy. He didn't have to print out all that money for unemployment. He didn't have to do any of that. He could have said, hey, run your shit as you see fit, which he did to a point, but he's the one who started the 2 weeks to flatten the curve. They're coming after him because he's going against their wishes. The central banks need war. This is why we are looming at World War III right now as we speak, is because we're out of money. They can't just print more money into thin air to create more inflation. So what they need to do is create more war or fund more wars to create, print more money. And in the meantime, get people involved. Like, think about all the people who are like, yes, 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 we need to back Ukraine. And yes, 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 we need to back Israel. People from both sides are going, hell yeah, we need to help these people. And the central banks are like, money printer goes brr, brr. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, they're going to put all this money out there. They're going to fund Israel. They're going to fund Ukraine. They're going to fund Russia, because they fund every side of every war. They're going to fund China. They're going to fund Taiwan. They're going to fund, for crying out loud, they're going to fund terrorists. We know for a fact that the United States government loves to fund terrorists. Read anything that's been out there by Scott Horton.
Read that last comment from Julie.
Why in the world did we not shut down over
H1N1?
Exactly. Why didn't we? Why didn't we do that? Why?
Because Trump wasn't president.
Exactly.
And so why did they do it? Because Trump was president.
Governors shut down the economy and Congress spent the money, though. You're correct. They did, but Donald Trump was the one who originally started that we need to shut everything down for 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and then left it up to the states, which I agree. You leave everything up to the states. Me personally, I feel like there should be no federal government whatsoever, and every state should be run as they see fit. That's why we have a 10th Amendment, really. Knock yourselves out, read it. They wanted to hurt Trump. Of course they wanted to hurt Trump. Political parties are out to hurt anybody who's outside of their own political party.
So why did they want to hurt Trump?
Why did they want to hurt Trump?
Yeah.
Because they can't relinquish control. Nobody
what makes Trump what makes Trump an outside person that would relinquish their control?
Because he's disruptive. That's
Why?
exactly why. Because he thinks he's going to quote unquote take down the deep state, but imply his or implement his own deep state, which is what we're seeing today, even though there is no deep state. But for all intents and purposes, for the
Of
people,
course, there's a deep state.
what was that?
Of course, there's a deep state.
It's the state. The deep state is the state.
Correct.
So why
So
do
it
we have to
exists.
put a label on it though? Why do we have to have a deep state when it's the same entity as the state? The
That's
state,
not the question. What the question is, why is Donald Trump an enemy of said state?
because he's willing to take away the agenda they're trying to push.
Why?
Well, that's a good question actually, and I only have a partial answer for that. Honestly, is because he believes that we're not going to trans the kids. Number one, we're not going to do this stuff. They wanted to hurt Trump. Oh, we already saw that. They wanted to hurt Trump. Yes, they did. But it was because he's not a part of their agenda.
Why?
Because he's quote unquote pro-Christian and pro-life and does not want to chop the dicks off of every single little child there is. That's why.
I think it's much worse than that. Obviously, that's terrible. But no, they don't. These people don't care about mutilating children. They love it. That's the least of their concerns.
Yeah, but he's the one who's saying we're not going to do that anymore.
Sure.
Why do they want to? Let's just go out here. Oh, let's see. The deep state wants to the deep state wants to reduce population. Trump won't cave to their population control tactics. And I think that's definitely part of it. I really do. Because population control, why did we have COVID? Oh, I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. But anyways, let's just put it out there.
Here's the real answer.
Okay.
This is the real answer. It's because Trump threatens their hierarchy of establishment. Because the people gravitate towards somebody who is brutally honest. And they're not going to play their political establishment ideas. Now, does Trump still absolutely get into and be absolved into that system of governance? Yes, clearly he does. But he represents a symbol of anti-establishment punk rock. That's where it comes down to. And fundamentally, I do believe that no matter how much he has to cooperate and make the art of the deal to these people, these demons that he's involved with, yes, he has to be negotiable to these demons, to these awful people. If you want any sort of progress, then you have to make concessions with those people. I'm not talking about on a personal level, like you and I, who are, putting out podcasts that are going to reach several hundred or several 100,000 people. We're talking about Donald Trump, the person that is elected to the next White House again, the leader of the free world. He has to make concessions and he has to figure out a way to make sure that as much as our pro-human agenda can be pushed through, he can do that. That's just the way that our politics operate. And anybody arguing otherwise is a fool. This isn't like when you go into a business trying to make a sale for your personal gain. No, this is operating on a level that's of a hierarchy that none of us should even claim to understand. It's about being able to navigate this ocean of horribly corrupt politics in which Donald Trump is involved. This makes him the most suitable character to try and do the best that he can on behalf of the American people. This is just a fact. And to deny it is absolutely stupid. We have to have somebody that's willing to go in there like a bulldog and be like, okay, I can make this and I can do that. And I will maximize the potential outcome for the American people. Period.
But what happened to no exceptions? The guy was like, we're not going to accept this. No exceptions. We're not going to do this and we're not going to do that. Why do we need to cater these people? This is
what people?
The Democrats. And while the Republicans piss me off on their own front, like the Republicans make me so angry because they're full of shit. They're liars. They lie to our face all the time. They say, hey, we're for, we respect the Constitution and we want smaller government. We want this and we want that. And Republicans are notoriously known for, campaigning like libertarians and governing like Democrats. They're notorious for it.
Absolutely.
We have to stop settling at this point. And I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not even a libertarian anymore. I am a anti-state, full-blown radical anarchist who has had enough of this shit. But I tried to give Trump the benefit of the doubt this time. And his cabinet choices are not making me very happy at this point. Outside
define settling.
What was that?
Define settling.
Like you should just be able to say, hey, we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing it.
And how much support from the Senate and Congress would you get from that?
How much support do they give us anyways?
That's fair.
No, seriously. Where is the support coming from anyways? Who's supporting what? It's all about their agenda. It has nothing to do with my agenda, your agenda, anybody in this chat's agenda. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with their agenda. So when are we going to start holding these people into account? Where are these libertarians who voted for Trump that's saying, hey, these cabinet picks are not okay? It's been crickets. And it makes me so mad that people are crickets on some of these cabinet picks. Did he have some good ones? Hell yeah, he had some good ones, dude. I love Vivek. He's a great cabinet, a cabinet pick.
He's not in the cabinet.
Well, I mean, he's a great choice for the Doge. I like Elon a part of this. I like RFK is great for health. You know what I'm saying? Like I said on your show last week, I would rather have somebody, the boomer who's in his 70s, who's built like a brick shit house and in charge of health, rather than the obese tranny who's going to be in charge of health. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Like, I would rather have that person in charge of health and food and stuff like that instead of that. Okay. RFK is a great pick for that. I wouldn't want him in any other place other than that because he's a gun grabbing climate freak. Okay. But the fact of the matter is like Matt Gaetz was a decent pick, because he never took AIPAC money. That's a big thing for me, but we're not going to get into my IDS right now. But then all of a sudden,
hey, for everybody listening, I'm the one that proved to Sean that Matt Gaetz did not accept AIPAC money.
Matt Gaetz and Thomas Massey, God bless you guys. God bless you guys for not caving to that agenda. You are the only ones in our government who has not taken the money. So
But they
God
should
bless
have they should have taken money from the pharmaceutical companies.
everybody takes money from those guys, dude. I haven't looked into that yet. But
But
like,
not APAC.
who's what APAC?
So should they neglect money from the pharmaceutical companies as well as APAC?
They should neglect money from everyone. They are supposed to be a government for the people and by the people, not for foreign interests, not for fucking lobbyists, not for anyone else. They are our employees. Think about this, you guys. The United States government are our employees. They take our money. You need to treat them like they're our employees. If they're fucking up, send them packing, dude. These people aren't in charge of shit. We are supposed to be in charge. The United States.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that's realistic?
Yeah, it can be.
How?
I can't say that on TV.
How?
It can be. You make them an offer they can't refuse.
The race or religion of person is not involved here. How do we start to refuse foreign money in our elections?
The magic word no. And get the right people where they need to be. But the fact that we're like, oh my God, federal government, we have a way out of this. There's a huge way out of this, which I need to do the plug right now. Revival of Common Sense by Thomas Decentralized. These people sponsor my show, Township Liberation. Find them at Town Liberation on X, at Town Liberation. They run workshops every Tuesday on X Spaces at 3 p.m. Pacific. No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's 3 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays. And then they do it on Thursday evenings with the Free Patriot Artist, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. They do workshops on how to, sounds like we need, oh my God, let me just put this up there. Sounds like we need to get money out of podcasting. Wow. Thank you. Apparently.
It's the worst idea.
We need to get more money into podcasting who are going to give you raw, honest, and unmerciful information.
Yep.
But no, Town Liberation. Seriously, he's doing great work. He's doing workshops. He's preaching the message of localization, decentralization, nullification. We can totally he says.
Minimize me. This is your point right here.
I don't know how to do all that. Stop it.
Yes, you do.
But anyways, no, check this out, you guys. At Town Liberation, they're great people. They're literally trying to teach you how to separate yourselves from the federal government at a local level. Like, that's where you win here, is a localization, decentralization, nullification. Like, all this crap we're talking about with Donald Trump and the Senate and the Congress doesn't even matter when it comes to this right now. Get this book. It's a 76-page read. You can do it in a day. It is amazing. It teaches you how to literally do your thing within a local standpoint. It's absolutely amazing. Follow at Town Liberation. Follow Two Free Mike Decentralized. Follow him. He's the one leading the charge on this. He's a great dude. He's a man of God. You know,
absolutely amazing.
We need more Jesus in this world. We need more Jesus, less government. Yeah. Seriously. You know, like I said on your show earlier this week, I don't bend the knee to nobody but Christ. I don't care who's in charge up there in DC. It doesn't matter.
Amen.
I don't care who's in charge. I'm in Detroit, Michigan. I don't care about Gretchen Hitler and what she's doing. I don't care about her red flag shit. I don't comply. I don't comply to nothing. I live my life within the non-aggression principle. I don't hurt people. I don't take their stuff. I don't violate private property. Leave me alone. That's where
unless they're the Jews.
I'm sorry.
I said, unless they're the Jews.
Well, I mean, they're the ones who gave Trump all that money. But anyways, I digress.
What money?
The $100 million.
A billionaire wants. That's what you're saying?
Money's money, dog. Everybody has a price, and you know what it is. You know what time it is. We're not going to do that. We're not doing this. We're supposed to talk about other things. We need to move on. Trump has some similarities within JFK. They tried to kill him because he was anti-establishment, anti-war. We know that. Now, let's do some red pill right now. We got to do a red pill. We got to stop black pilling people. And I'm going to pull this up on my phone real quick because it's important. This is so important. You guys don't even understand how important this is. And let me pull this up right now. JP Morgan has raised its estimate of Argentina's GDP growth in the third quarter to 8.5%, one of the highest in the world. That is absolutely amazing, considering that JP Morgan was responsible for 60% of the IMF's printed money. That is absolutely amazing that what he's doing over there. JP Morgan is citing optimism around recent reforms by President Milei as the reason for such rapid growth. Well, why are we having this rapid growth? Why are we having it? I'm going to tell you why. It's Austrian economics. That's why. The libertarian economics, as some would say it. Austrian economics is amazing because why? It's about having no state intervention within the market. It is about having absolute free markets within the thing. The dude has literally slashed 75% of the government. He is getting rid of the central banking system. He is doing awesome things over there. Milei is killing it, and it's all because Austrian economics. And why is that important? Well, a lot of us, quote unquote, libertarians, anarchists, wherever you fall, agorists in the bubble of that situation, are Austrian economics driven. Why was Ron Paul right about everything? Austrian economics. That's why. And you're seeing it working in real time in Argentina, contrary to popular belief by U.S. media. U.S. media is literally destroying this man, trying to say that he's destroying the country and that people are storming the streets. The only people that are storming the streets in Argentina right now are the progressives who are no longer getting their free money. That's who's mad right now. You take.
Why do you think that is?
Why? I mean, if you were getting a bunch of free money and it was stripped from you, you would probably be pissed too.
No, I mean, why do you think that is? Why do you think that we have all these people that are traversing to our continent? Why?
Because they've been spoon-fed propaganda for so long. They believe what they're going to believe. They think that the government is going to bring this ultimate grand economy where, like, a government that's economic system is based off debt is never going to be prosperous. We're living in real time in the United States with a country that's $36 trillion in debt with $1 trillion of interest per year at this point. It's gotten so bad the yearly GDP won't even cover that. Okay. So why is American media demonizing this guy? Is because you cannot show what free markets do to the American people because they will revolt. I tell people all the time, go read The Creature from Jekyll Island and learn about the Federal Reserve. Read The Case Against the Fed by Murray Rothbard and learn about the Federal Reserve.
Do you think we're kind of past that and we need to try to backtrack?
Past which?
I mean, like the Federal Reserve is there and they've ruined us. They've destroyed our country. But we can't just, I mean, legally, we can't just outlaw the Federal Reserve. So what is your prescription to kind of get us back to some just an even freaking ability to stabilize ourselves economically. That's not going to happen without the Federal Reserve being
Yes, it
abolished.
will. Yes, it will.
But what can we do?
I'm going to tell you how. Number one, free markets are everything. What's the free market? The black and gray market. If you want to talk about agorism, which is Samuel L. Conkin's version of libertarianism, is opening up free markets, opening
This
up.
is my point, though. That stuff's not going to work. It's not
Why
going to
wouldn't
happen.
it work? Why wouldn't it work? You can literally, the United States needs to default on all their loans, kick the Federal Reserve to the curb, and I'm going to tell you why right now. Is because now is the time to do it. We have people like me and you who are Gen Xers, who are older millennials, who can deal with things like this and know how to survive in a certain climate that is quote unquote disastrous. Because really, in theory, people like us grew up feral. We knew how to get our, like, I was literally in kindergarten getting myself cereal and getting myself off to school. And there was plenty of people like me because that was just the way it was back then. So why crash it right now? Get it over with right now while we're still able-bodied to get through it. We aren't too old yet, but we are getting there. The time is getting the time is getting narrower as we speak. We have to, not only the United States needs to default on the loans, we need to open up the markets and let us people who know how to get through it as feral people get through it. Because if it happens, if the financial crash happens in a generation younger than the Gen X and millennials, it is a wrap. You will be enslaved by a CBDC that is run by the central banksters and the government. That's what's going to happen. You're already enslaved by debt right now because of the Federal Reserve and the government. The best case scenario is to default on the loans, crash the system, and start over right now. Now, not later, now.
Give me a percentage
Of what?
Of how you think that this would successfully go forward.
It's a 50-50 shot, dude. But what do you have to
It's
lose?
not.
We're fucked regardless.
That's correct. The latter statement is yes. The 50-50 part is not.
But why would you leave it up to a generation that doesn't even know what a woman is?
You don't have to leave it up to them.
But I'm exactly my point. Let's get it over with now and get it done so we can restore whatever it is.
What exactly are you trying to get over? And how do you propose we do that?
Free market capitalism.
How?
Free market capitalism.
It's not going to work.
Localization and decentralization and nullification. You break it down all the way to your township level, all the way to your small town, whether you're in a little village of Milford, Michigan, where I grew up per se, where, you know, there's a population of a couple thousand, right? And that village can do exactly what they do. But you can have your market right there. You can allow businesses to allow whatever currency, like read The Theory of Money and Credit by Ludwig von Mises, okay? A median of exchange could be literally anything.
So break it down to the local markets is what you're saying.
Yes. You don't.
Your state attorney general, your sheriff, your school board members.
Julie Curtis, Noel, it's called Do Not Participate. You do not participate in their system. You have your own system at that point. For me, in Detroit, Michigan, we can say, hey, we're going to allow businesses to accept gold, silver, Bitcoin, shitcoin, Monero, Doge, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? You can have your currencies, whatever you want. You can run your town as you see fit, and you chop the government's legs right off.
Okay, just going by Julie's statement here, Noel, it's called Do Not Participate. How are we supposed to affect change if we don't participate?
I think she means like you don't participate in their game and you participate in your own, whether at a local level. Am I right, Julie? Am I right? I don't know. Maybe. Because localization, like this is the red pill right now. We can get through this at a local level.
At a local level, yes.
But we have to open up the markets. Free markets will literally fix 90% of this nation's problems. But you can start it in your own, village. You
It's not
start it there.
can, it has to start there.
And then from there, like other people in other villages will be like, hey, look at what these people are doing. We can do it too. And then the next village will be like, hey, look at what these people are, and they're doing it. And then all of a sudden, the federal government is obsolete. And you give your two middle fingers up and say, hey, we're not doing this shit no more. And then ziggity boom, it's like that. But it has to start somewhere. We have to say no. We have to stop complying. Compliance is a huge thing, where part of the big problem is that people keep complying to this nonsense that they're feeding us. There has to be a point where we don't comply. We don't listen. Civil disobedience, mass non-compliance, whatever it may be, you just say no. There's so much power in saying no. I did a show quite a few months ago with a gentleman who owned a restaurant here in Michigan, who did not close his restaurant during the COVID stuff, which, if you guys don't know anything about what happened here in Michigan during COVID, we had literally one of the absolute worst COVID mandates you've seen in the United States. It was either Michigan, California, or New York. We were the absolute worst when it came to COVID. Okay. My dude, Ian Murphy, who owns the Iron Pig Smokehouse, said no. And actually went to war in court with the state and won. It went all the way to the top. He won. This is the power of saying no. This is the power of being local. This is the power of doing your thing. We can't just sit back and say, well, Donald Trump said we got to do this, or Joe Biden said we got to do this, or whatever it may be. No. Enough of that. Enough of that. There needs to be zero compliance. No, or yes? I don't know. Like I
know. I completely agree.
But we actually have to stand up for ourselves though too. We can't just sit back and say, hey, well, the government's going to do what it's going to do. We've been doing that for years now. We've been doing that for decades. We have to stand up and say, no, we have to hold these people into account. I want to see, as somebody who used to be once a libertarian, I want libertarians who supported Donald Trump to say, hey, what you're doing is not right now, homeboy. Or some of these picks aren't the best. Why isn't nobody saying anything? We need to hold these people into account. Accountability is everything. If we don't hold them to account, they run amok, which is where we're at right now. We have to hold these people into account. We need to show up on their doorsteps and say, hey, we're not doing this no more. I made a reference, which probably was why, so they said, why they kicked me off my record label is because I said this. We need 100,000 plus people to show up on DC's doorstep and start snatching these people out of their chair and making citizens arrest for treason, at the very least, crimes against humanity, at the very least. You can make citizens arrest. We can do this. I'm not promoting violence by any means. I'm saying hold these people into account, these people who you pay your taxes to. Actually, you don't pay them. They take them. They take your money. They take it, and then they do exactly the opposite thing that they said they're going to do. Where's the taxation without representation thing? That's a thing. That's supposed to be illegal. Who's representing the people right now? Nobody. Nobody is representing us. They're representing the foreign interest, whether it be China, Israel, the Middle East. They are representing the big oil, the big pharma, the military industrial complex, the defense contractors.
Right.
This is who they're representing. They're not representing any of us. So hold them into account. You know, that's what I got. We got to hold these people into account, man, or we're just going to be slaves forever. And Americans hate hearing that we are slaves. They hate that. But I'm sorry, y'all. Slavery was never abolished. It was nationalized via taxation. Noel, take it, dog.
That'll happen. That'll happen. We have so much appointment that is just not our individual interpretation of a microphone. We have so much love, so much that we can do and learn from each other.
But like,
go ahead.
But like, we have to learn from each other. We have to learn. We have to keep learning. We can't stop educating ourselves. Like, education is key. Like, dude, my boy that I told you about, the GOP homie, Will Huff, earlier, I introduced him to Rothbard today. He ordered his first Rothbard book, man. Like, that's huge to get somebody outside of the grain to start learning Austrian economics, which could literally save this country. Look at what it's doing for Malay. Malay is an Austrian economist. He rattles off authors and books all the time. Like, we have to adopt a different economic system. We have to adopt a different narrative. We have to invest in ourselves rather than government. We have to be able to do things and open businesses and prosper. You know, we have to free the markets. We have to free the people. Free markets is free people. It's just what it is. You know, and I understand I mix up a lot of anarchism and agorism with libertarianism and statism here and there, but like, free markets are the way out of this. And you know, and getting rid of the central banks is the way out of this. If you end the Fed, you end the wars, you end the empire. It's over. You end the central banking system, there's no more wars. Not to say there won't be conflicts, but they're going to run out of money and ammo at some point, so they're not going to last for 20 years.
That's right.
You know, but, you know, I'm trying to think, what else were we supposed to go through? I think we kind of covered it all tonight. Do you want to say anything before we go, my dude? How can we find you? What are we doing? Like, tell us about you.
I just want to ask everyone to follow this man. He's great, unbelievable, and I love each and every one of you. Talk to you tomorrow. Later.
Right on, y'all. And until next week, man, next Friday, we're going to be doing big things again. So please come back, you know, like, share, follow, subscribe to all things. My @ handle is @BudsInReality, @Buds, letter N, Reality. It's an homage to Guns N' Roses, one of my very favorite bands. So BNR, just think of that. BNR, Buds in Reality. Please follow me, like, share, subscribe, on all things. I'm on everywhere. I'm on YouTube. I'm on X. I'm on Rumble. I am on IG. I don't do the whole Facebook thing anymore because they weren't very nice to me. Go figure. You know, Noel knows all about Facebook not being very nice. But you know, till next week, man. Thank you so much for chiming in on the chat. I love you guys so much. We do this for you, not for us. I promise you that. Peace, love, and liberty. Till next week, y'all.
That's right. Love you.
And boom.